Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us for the Richness of. Today we're going to be focusing on the richness of empowering yourself with your beauty regimen. So today I have a very special guest with us, Emma. Emma and I met a couple of years ago, and she's been like a jewel for me. And we were talking about makeup not too long ago, and really, I think so many times we think of makeup as beauty and superficial, but you made a beautiful point, and it's empowering. It's not about what everybody else necessarily thinks and sees, but it's about what you think and see for yourself. So, and I know you've given me some great pointers on empowering women through makeup. So tell me a little bit about, because you don't normally hear makeup artists talking about that.
Well, thank you, and thank you, Sylvia, for having me. I think the best way we can empower ourselves through our beauty routine is really making it our own. If you're someone who loves a bold lip or a bold eye, whatever makes you feel beautiful, makes you feel your most authentic you, is a really way to shine and make your insides match your outsides.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And it's funny. I have three kids, a son, but two daughters. And, it's fun, to see them now, doing their own routine and, natural during the day, but when they go out and the skin and how beautiful it is. And that's what inspired me really to come see you, because I'm like, I need a little bit of a little bit of a youthful, but appropriate for me. And I think that that's one of the things that you've taught me, that, it's not one size fits all, that there's different products and different looks for different people and different moods that you're in.
Absolutely. I know for me personally, my makeup is totally dependent on my mood. Sometimes it's very avant-garde and sassy and fun, and sometimes it's very polished, sophisticated, and sometimes honestly it's slapping on mascara and just heading to the grocery store, but it's always a way to just feel a little elevated in your day.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, I think the other beauty of working with someone, and I think it's a good investment, right? Like in your regimen, in who you are, because I find if I don't work with you or don't come see you, right, I tend to buy and do the same thing. And we tend to get stuck in our routines on that. And sometimes, it's a good routine, but sometimes they just want to look a little bit different, a little bit fresh. And what I love about our conversations is always I'll always ask you, so what's the look this season? What do we want to do that's a little bit different? So talk a little bit about that, because here's the thing, right? Like it can get expensive, right?
It definitely
That's
can.
right. It can get very expensive. So from that perspective, where should we think about investing our money when we're buying our beauty regimen?
That's an excellent question. So it kind of depends on, what's most important to you. But I think good rules of thumb, always invest in quality skincare. Mm-hmm. The better you invest in your skin and your makeup prep, the better the makeup is going to turn out. So really investing that time, and time turns into money, into that skincare routine, your foundations, things like, for me, mascaras, because I'm going to toss them after 3 months. Mm-hmm. I can get away with doing a cheapie. I love a cheapie every once in a while. But the things that are going to really qualify your base is the things where I really like to make my smart investments.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, right? Because that is your canvas, right? Like, your foundation or your powders or what you're using, that's the canvas, and then you're working off of that.
Absolutely.
And I used to think that maybe like foundation or powder clogged your pores, or it wasn't good to wear during the day. But now I find that they have whatever they might have, the BB stuff in it, or they might have things in it that actually really help your complexion.
That is an excellent trend that's coming into makeup, is really skincare infused products. You'll see foundations for more acne prone skin, salicylic acid. For more dehydrated skin, you'll have skin tints with hyaluronic acid. So really knowing what your skin needs and tailoring your beauty routine to that can be an excellent way to enhance your routine and make it customized.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. And so for today, I did not apply a lot of makeup, right? I did do my own foundation, which I don't know, you may give us more tips on what I should or should not be doing. But I would love if we can kind of show the audience, right? Like, I'd love to see, like a little bit more cheeks or a little bit more framing. I happen to feel a little bit tired today, so what can we do to look a little bit more awake? So would you mind just sampling a little bit and talking us through as you're going through it?
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
So what I'm going to do, I have my little kit set up here. And what I'm going to start with is making sure we're laying down that flawless base. So when we talk about chiseling out the cheekbones and kind of waking up the skin, the under eye, there's a great technique that was made famous by Mary Phillips called underpainting.
Oh.
And what underpainting is you're kind of, you're framing the bones of your makeup. So you're doing your contouring, you're highlighting your blush first, and then applying the foundation on top of it. What's great about this technique is you can get really messy with it. You're really focusing on placement more than like blending. So it's a great way to start if you're beginning or if you're in a rush or whatever it may be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go in, I'm just gonna have you tuck your hair behind your ears.
Okay.
All right. And I am going to start with a nice glowy base. So this is a little bit of a filtered primer.
Okay.
And we're just gonna apply this all over the face, only avoiding really the under eye area.
Oh, okay. And why do we avoid that area?
That is an area where we can get a little bit textured.
Okay.
And due to that, we're gonna keep kind of our shinier products away from any textured skin.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I'm just going in with little brush strokes.
One of the foundations that I use does have a little bit of a glow, and it's funny because I always find that then I'm putting powder under my eye afterwards because I look too glowy. So I should really just be avoiding that area.
Yeah, the only thing that I like to put under the eye is a little bit of concealer, maybe some color corrector.
Okay, and again, this is called...
This is your glowy primer, and I'm using the Flawless filter from Charlotte Tilbury.
Okay.
All right.
And do you have an opinion on age? You know, sometimes, you know, is the glowy look okay? You know, as you age, is it more of a younger look, or is it like, you know, it just depends on your style?
I think it totally depends because I am not a believer of, you know, throw your glitters out once you hit 40. I don't like that at all. I think that as long as, you know, you're doing your basic skin prep, your skin is hydrated, you can rock anything.
Okay.
But in terms of skin prep, the more dehydrated you are, the more you are going to want to stick to those glowy products. The more oily you are, the more you're going to want to stick to those matte products.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so what I'm doing right now is just chiseling out the cheekbone, the jawline, and like I said, you can be super messy with it. And I always recommend using a deeper color, so when we put that foundation on top, the contour will still shine through.
Oh, okay. And now this is interesting because I literally have what you're using, but I actually just put it on as, you know, like lipstick on my cheeks, right?
Yeah.
And I noticed you're using a brush, so tell me a little bit about the difference and why.
Yeah, so that is not only for cleanliness purposes, because this is part of a professional kit, but it also gives you a little bit more ability, a little bit more control. When we're swiping, sometimes it can disturb the foundation underneath.
Oh, I see.
And the skin prep underneath, but with the brush, it gives you more of a diffused effect. I'm gonna hit under the lip a little bit. And now you're gonna look a little crazy until this process is over. But that's totally okay because when it comes together, it's beautiful. It's just to trust the process.
Okay, and since we're all friends, I'll look at the camera so you can see how crazy it looks, but we have to go through this, and I trust Emma to get to the nice end point.
Why, thank you, I appreciate that trust, and I guarantee once that foundation goes on, it's the most flawless, subtle base. And I'm going in with a little bit of concealer, and if we do make an oopsie on where we put our contour, we have every ability to correct it with the concealer.
Oh, that's great.
And I'm going one that is going to be a little bit lighter than your skin tone. areas of the face that we want to bring light to. So the forehead, tip of the nose, down the jawline.
Oh, okay. I'd have to watch this episode a couple of times to get all these amazing tips down.
And that's one of the things too that's great about watching tutorials, that rewind button, that pause button, because it is a bit of a learning curve to always stay on trend and find what's best for you. All right, so that is generally where we're gonna wanna put the concealer.
Okay, so if you want to see, this is the concealer.
All right. And then you can do this one of two ways. You can either go in and blend immediately, or you can put the foundation on top directly if you're in a rush. I like to blend a little bit out.
Oh, okay.
So just softening the edges.
And is there a special blending brush or something you recommend?
You can use any kind of domed concealer brush. I also like to use sponges in areas where that skin might get a little textured. So generally for me, that's around the nose, under my eye, on my chin, on my forehead. But brushes are an amazing technique for that diffused kind of look.
Okay. And then you just changed brushes?
I did, yeah. And the reason behind that, the more product you put on a brush, the more it's going to deposit on the face. So in order to not, get that kind of cake face look,
Right.
we're always going to want to switch our brushes if we can help it.
Oh, okay. And talking about brushes, how often, I guess, is the question, do you recommend cleaning your brushes?
Oh, that's a really good question. So I think in reality, once a week.
Oh, really? Oh, gosh. Okay.
Because every day would be ideal, but I don't live in fantasy land
Right.
when it comes to washing my brushes, so
Right.
once a week is perfectly fine.
Okay. And somebody had recommended once, I don't know if you have a product to wash them that you recommend. I sometimes use just Johnson & Johnson's baby shampoo.
That's perfect. Or Dawn antibacterial.
Dawn antibacterial.
Yeah, if it's good enough for ducks, it's good enough for makeup brushes.
Okay. That Dawn comes in handy for a lot of things.
Certainly does. All right, so before I go in with the foundation,
Okay.
I'm gonna take a little bit of setting spray and spritz. Close your eyes for me. That way we're locking in our base. And then I'm going in with a foundation that's gonna match the skin tone. And the best foundation to use for this technique is either a skin tint or a light to medium coverage foundation. And that way that contour can really shine through.
Okay. And what brand or what is it that you're using?
This is a professional brand. This is called Mayron.
Okay.
Went a little light on you.
Okay.
And then I'm just buffing that into the skin. And in the areas where we did place that contour,
Yep.
we're gonna wanna go really lightly over it so it shines through.
Oh, okay. And what are you seeing for the look for, this coming season? So like spring, summer?
Spring and summer, I always think of very fresh, very dewy, really focusing on the skin, nice blushes. But I do see a matte renaissance coming for us because we have been in this dewy season for quite a while. So I think the trends will change and we'll be back into, more of a fuller coverage, more of a matte finish.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I noticed a lot of people are using for the blush it's almost like a lipstick kind of texture. what they're using to put above their cheeks?
Absolutely.
And you think that powder will be back?
I think powder will be back, but I love that comment. I love a product that is a twofer.
Yeah.
So your blush as your, or your lipstick as your blush, or your primer as your moisturizer.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I do that sometimes if I have an event and I don't have a lot of room in my purse. I'll actually apply a little bit of my lipstick to my cheeks. And I didn't realize that that is actually acceptable in the makeup world.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm just bringing that down the neck. And then at this point, you can go in with any kind of powder you wanted on top for your blush or bronzer, really to fill out that look.
Okay.
Or you could leave it as is and go in with your brows. Totally up to you.
All right. So, well, what do you suggest for today?
I would go in with a little powder on top just to make it pop.
Okay.
So I'm going in with a Dior bronzer and using a nice fluffy brush.
And since summer's coming, and a lot of us will be traveling or going away for the weekends or taking trips, summer vacations. Any suggestions on packing your makeup bag, like an efficient way to pack? I find sometimes I bring too many choices or I don't bring enough.
Ooh, that's a really good point. I say utilize the packing jars that they'll sell on Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
To kind of dram out your products.
Okay.
I also really like wrapping things in bubble wrap, big bubble wrapper.
That's a good point. I've had a lot of my eyeshadows crack when I travel. So that would prevent that?
Yeah, bubble wrap, or wrapping things in plastic bags with a little rubber band on top.
Okay.
Is a great way to do it as well.
And so what I've gotten accustomed to is I like lip liner, so I'll do a lip liner. I'll do like 2 different lip colors, my foundation, my concealer, and maybe one eyeshadow kit that has a couple of different varieties in it, and mascara. Perfect.
And yeah, really utilize, your bronzer can be your eyeshadow.
Oh.
Your lip liner can be your eyeliner. There's a lot of ways to make products really effective by bringing minimal things in your bag.
That is great.
And with this powder bronzer, I'm just going over where we place that contour.
Okay. And what's the name of this color?
This is shade number 5, Amber Bronze from Dior.
Ooh, I like the name.
Yeah. I think if I had another life, I would go into product development and name nail polishes and colors. I think that's so fun.
I know, isn't it so fun? Some of the names are so creative.
Yeah. And then we'll pop a color because we are coming into spring. We'll do a little blush moment and a quick appeal to blushes.
Yeah.
So many people are terrified of peaches, but I really think a nice peach blush can really do wonders, especially for warm undertones.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that. I actually like the peaches too. And it's funny, some of the younger girls use a lot of the reds, like the little rosy reds. And it looks like in the jar like it would be a lot, and then they put it on and it looks so pretty, so natural.
Absolutely, yeah. Reds are having a big moment right now.
And maybe as you're doing this too, can you give us some tips? I know at least when I grew up, or I've always been accustomed to, okay, so if you're gonna do a red lip or a dark lip, you want your eyes to be a little bit more natural, or if you're gonna go very smoky on the eye or a lot of heavier eye makeup, the philosophy used to be then go a little more natural on the lip.
Absolutely.
Is that still?
Yeah, I think that always works. The real thing you want to avoid is putting too much facial weight in one area.
Okay.
So by doing that, like a very smoky eye and a very dramatic lip is going to look a little avant-garde.
Yeah.
A little dressy
Right.
for maybe an event that could be more subdued. So I like to pick one and enhance your favorite feature.
Okay. So what would you enhance for me? Where should I?
Hard to pick. You got beautiful lips, beautiful bone structure. I think we could absolutely go in to your eyes or your lips depending on the event and what you want to enhance.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So thank you. So okay, so here is the new look that she did. It feels really nice too. Whatever you put on feels really delicious on the face. So thank you. So hopefully our viewers, taking away some great ideas. And again, I guess the question would be, timing wise, how much time should we allot for our regimen?
Oh, that's a really good question. I'm just going to take a seat back here. Timing wise, I think to make it a real investment, take as much time as you possibly can. The more time you have to really invest in the way you're holding your brushes, the way you're putting your makeup on is really going to make it better. They say in a lot of industries, crap in, crap out. And it's the same with makeup.
Is it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I just cleaned out my makeup drawer, and it was painful to get rid of some stuff, but I think also kind of like clothes or, they say that if it doesn't represent who you are today, or if you're not using it, if you find yourself just constantly not using it, right? And shelf life, I felt like some of it I was, color palettes for my eyes that I was sitting on for 2 years and I haven't used them. So I think it's kind of time to let them go, right? Or is there a time frame?
There is a time frame. So there's a technical time frame in terms of sanitation and makeup expiring, and you'll find that on the back of any package. Usually mascaras, under 5 months. Powders you can have for years.
Okay.
But I think anything like doing the Marie Kondo, does this bring me joy? Does this still reflect who I am?
Right.
But that being said, I am a huge makeup hoarder, and I have stuff from college that I simply can't let go of.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I might not use it, but I don't know, just looking at it, it brings me back to a time and place.
That's true. That's true. So we have a few minutes left. So before we wrap up, how would somebody, how do our viewers find you if they want to have their makeup done, if they want to do a consultation? What's the best way to find you?
Absolutely. So you can find me through Instagram at ratbastardmua or through TikTok at ratbastardmua. I'm also available by phone or by email, ratbastardmua at gmail.com. And I offer consultations, advisement, applications, anything under the sun.
Wow. Well, thank you. I know that, again, we've talked about it. It's an investment, but to me, I think it's a great investment. And I think that the beauty of working with someone like you too is so many times, like I said, we go into the store, we get caught up at the moment, we overbuy, and then things don't really work well together. I think what I find that you normally do is when we talk about it, you continue to help me build on what I have, like my line. So things work congruently, they work nicely together, and just like you're building a house, you need a strong foundation. I think one of the best things I've learned from you is the importance of having a good foundation, right? Investing in your moisturizers and all of that, and creating that beautiful canvas so that then you can put on your makeup.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no reason to throw out anything you have unless it is expired, like we just said. It's always good to build and curate your kit.
Absolutely. Well, Emma, thank you so much for being with us today, and thank you for the beautiful tips, and I so appreciate you sharing more tips with me and with our viewers. So we hope to have you back again soon.
Thank you.